Back here in Conway as the Taylor Tigers are on the mound, and your pitcher today, Peyton Smith, who's going to be on the mound for the Tigers and looking to get the nod. Going to have a big day today for the Tigers. That's what they're hoping anyways.
He's the only player to suit up for all 27 games this season. The senior SAU signee does it all. 5 home runs, in which, by the way, you add his brother's 6, and that's all 11 for the Taylor Tigers this season. And he can swing it in the batter's box. We'll talk about that, but they're going to turn to him on the mound here.
Yeah, and looking for a big performance for him today, but another big performance for Mount Ida as Jacob Woodfield is going to start things off today for Mount Ida as he'll work in. Here's the first pitch, and it is in there. A called strike on the inside part of the plate, and that'll get things going at 10-11. On this championship weekend here in Conway. Woodfield is the center fielder today, has a 4.02 GPA for Mount Ida. As the second pitch is low, and that'll be called a ball, so it brings the count to 1-1. Batting .385 this year, 3 home runs. You know, we were talking a little bit, Kyle, about playing multi-sports, and Woodfield, football, baseball, and track are his 3 sports that he plays at Mount Ida. As that pitch goes low, and it takes the count to 2-1.
You see it a lot at the smaller schools, the ability to play multiple sports, and I think it's something that every coach would want to see at every level. You know, it certainly teaches you multiple skills, but also I think we've learned now helps you stay healthy over the course of the season, especially as you grow and continue to play and focus on one sport.
2-1's the count as Woodfield is at the plate. And that one swung on. It's chopped over to second base. And picking it up, throwing it to first for the 4-3 put out. As that was Preston Smith to Jesse Humphreys. And there's one out here in the top of the first inning.
The Mount Ida team, district champions, regional runner-up to this Taylor team. Mentioned they're averaging 11 runs over their last 3 games. I think it's a Mount Ida team that's playing well. As you so often see this time of the year, you got to be playing your best baseball to get here.
Carter Roughton is up next for Mount Ida with one out here in the top of the first inning. That'll be a fastball that misses outside to start him off. He's today's catcher. He's a 5-sport athlete. I mean, football, basketball, baseball, track, golf. That is everything that Carter Roughton does. He also carries a 3.97 GPA. How about that?
Well, you got to love a catcher that runs track, too.
Yeah. 1-0 offering is on the way. It's up high, and it hits him. Got him on that elbow, and he'll head to first base for the first base runner for Mount Ida here in the state championship game. So that brings up Caleb White, today's pitcher, for Mount Ida, and Caleb is batting .382 with 2 home runs. First pitch is in there, called a strike on the upper part of the zone. Well, I tell you what, Caleb White is a big kid. I would imagine when he gets a hold of it, it's going to go a long way. Pitch is outside, evens the count at 1-1. And you know, one thing I love about Coach Thomas Wilson from Mount Ida, he's so impressed with his entire team. He gave us all this information, wanted to make sure that he threw in the GPAs for all of his kids as this pitch is fouled out of play. Takes the count to 1-2, but because not only are they great athletes, but they're all really smart. I mean, these kids are, you know, in the upper 3s at the 4 GPA, and so that not only do they take care of it on the field, but they do it in the classroom as well.
Well, and to these coaches that helped us out with the stats, and those that are still have their seasons alive and are playing this weekend, we can't thank them enough for doing that. And that's a lot of parents involved keeping those stats over the course of the season as well.
Here's the 1-2 pitch that misses outside, and it brings the count to 2-2.
And he's talked about, Taylor coach Brian Fowler, win the next pitch. And it's so cliche, even he is the first to admit, but that has sort of been their mentality. particularly over these last couple weeks.
Here's the 2-2, and it is going to be on the outside, called a ball, but the stolen base at second base by Routon is good, and so he'll be in there. And Mount Ida's got a runner on the pond with a 3-2 count at the plate.
Well, you see the jump that he gets there. No chance for Lindsey to throw down.
Did they? Oh, looks like the umpire, there's some confusion because Caleb White doesn't know if he struck out. And now there's going to be a meeting because there wasn't an official call by the umpire. Just from our view, he didn't really give a signal.
No, I thought because he didn't, that I thought it missed the outside part of the plate.
We still haven't got a call, and looks like Caleb White did strike out. So he struck out looking, and now there's 2 outs here in the first. So now Kane McCullough is going to be at the plate, 4-sport athlete, playing third base today.
Yeah, another look there. Just didn't get a call from the home plate ump.
Yeah. Either way, Mount Ida, and they're sending Routon back to first base. I have no idea what just happened. I really have no idea what just happened, why they sent Routon back to first. But either way, here's the first pitch in to McCullough, called a strike. So instead of having Routon at second base, you've got Routon back at first base.
It'll take away the stolen base there, which you would think he'd be able to advance. I don't know if they said because of the confusion to move him back to first.
But he was stealing regardless.
Right.
I mean, there was no foul ball. There was no check swing. I don't understand why they made him go back to first base. 0-2's the count. Strange start to this top of the first inning. Here's the 1-0-2 swung on, line to right field. It's a base hit. And so now Routon can go to second, and McCullough's got the first base hit of the ball game. Great job right there, Kyle, by just turning on that inside pitch and was able to send it to right field.
I got a hold of it, and certainly for Smith, you feel like you're 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
So now the 5-hole hitter, Ramsey Gilbert, comes to the plate, batting .295 this season. As the first pitch misses outside, and it's 1-0.
A lot of pitches, it feels like, for Smith in this top half of the first inning.
Pitch hits the dirt. Runners thought about advancing, but everybody went back to first and second.
And for Coach Brian Fowler, who talks about winning the next pitch, part of that is, hey, let's get ahead in the count. Let's throw first pitch strikes. Let's focus on that. And if we get behind in the count, how do we get back into it? And it feels like Smith has been battling back in a lot of these counts.
Here's the next pitch. It's low, and I just got confirmation that the reason that Routon went back to first base was because they had batter interference at the plate, so it didn't allow for the catcher to throw down to second base, and that's what allowed him to go back to first. So thanks for the clarification, Kevin Bohannon. And they're also saying that's why he was called out. It wasn't on the strikeout. But either way, here's a base on balls, and looky here. Mount Ida's got bases loaded now, here with 2 outs in the first.
Well, and credit Mount Ida for coming out this way, taking advantage of Smith having a little bit of difficulty finding the plate at the moment. And I think Mount Ida's coming into this game. Listen, they're confident, but they know Taylor's the defending champs. We got nothing to lose here. Let's go for this.
So now at the plate, you've got Tyler Petty, as the first pitch is a changeup that's in there at the knees, called a strike.
Petty's hitting .375, just a sophomore. We mentioned one of the 5 underclassmen getting the start for the Lions.
0-1's the count, bases loaded, ball's way outside. Opportunity for Mount Ida right here. Petty takes it, hits it to left field. It's down for a base hit. That'll score a run. Great piece of hitting right there by Tyler Petty to get the RBI and put Mount Ida on the scoreboard.
Mount Ida's done a great job in this inning, being very patient in the batter's box, making Smith work every count, waiting for pitches that they like, and a couple times this inning they've been able to take advantage of a few hung in the zone.
So that brings up Lane Nolan now, the right-handed hitting batter who's on the season batting .250 as that pitch is outside, called a ball. Lane Nolan, the 7-hole hitter, as it goes low, takes it to 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, bases loaded. Mount Ida leads it 1-0. That one's up high. No, they're going to call it a strike. He just was able to catch that upper corner. It brings the count to 2-1.
Smith has such a good-looking frame, doesn't he? Just has had a little bit of trouble finding the plate, whether it's nerves or what, here in the top of the first.
There's a big cut to even the count up at 2 apiece.
Biggest thing in high school baseball, throw strikes.
Yeah.
Throw strikes.
Two pitches on the way. That's swung on, popped up into center field. There to make the catch. And Taylor gets out of the inning. But not until Mount Ida scores 1 run on 2 base hits. They strand 3. We head to the bottom of the first inning. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball and Softball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Norma was one of America's very first black comedians.
To be a nun, you just got to live a nun's life.
And at 95, she's still doing it.
Joni helps me imagine the world because she's so vivid with her lyrics.
Celebrate songs of America's returning war veterans, co-written with top hit songwriters.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS video app.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
Hey, welcome back. Arkansas PBS is Arkansas's home for high school sports, but we need your support to make it happen. Text sports to 501-491-0444. That's 501-491-0444, or scan the code on your screen to give now.
Well, we head to the bottom of the first inning where Mount Ida leads 1-0 over Taylor, and they'll have their first crack at the plate here in the bottom of the first inning. The Taylor Tigers come in 23-4 on the year. And Caleb White is going to be the pitcher for Mount Ida. He comes in with a season record of 7-1 for Mount Ida, as the Tigers of Taylor will have Peyton Smith, Mason Lindsay, and Preston Smith. 1, 2, 3 batters due up for them here in the top half, or the bottom half of the inning.
And how eager is Peyton Smith, you think, to lead things off here for Taylor? You give up a run, you kind of navigate out of a jam there with the bases loaded and 2 down, but you allow a run and your team's behind, and you got a chance to set the table for the Tigers right now.
So Peyton Smith, who we talked about in the pregame, as he is a Southern Arkansas signee. That's where he'll be playing his college ball next year. He'll swing at the first one as it's lifted out to center field, and coming in is Woodfield. No, actually that's going to be Lane Nolan, who will come in from his left field spot and make the out. And that's the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. So now Mason Lindsay's at the plate. He's today's catcher for the Tigers, batting .361 with 27 RBI. I think the most impressive thing about Mason Lindsay, he's only struck out 6 times this year. Here he swings at the first one. It's fouled out of play.
Neat thing, too, we mentioned the Taylor softball team playing later tonight here in Conway. His twin sister, Madison, is the catcher for Taylor's softball team.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah, that is really cool. Lindsay sees a curveball, goes with it out to short, and the 6-3 put out as Woodle sends it over to, or excuse me, Woodfield sends it over to Gilbert, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Here's the defensive alignment for Mount Ida. As you see in the outfield, Lane Nolan, Jacob Woodfield, Chandler Perkins, and you've got McCullough, Woodfield, Wooten, and Gilberts on the infield. Routen's behind the plate, and Caleb White is on the mound as the first pitch is called a ball.
And this is Preston Smith here, another SAU signee with his brother, a senior. As we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, 500 batting average, which it doesn't matter what level you're playing. To get a hit half the time is incredible.
Pretty impressive. He's also got 39 RBI this year, 6 home runs. He's another low strikeout guy. There's a big swing. Came with him with an off-speed pitch, and he took a big hack at it. But he's only struck out 8 times this year. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's almost as amazing as the 500 batting average. Averaging 11 at-bats per home run, by the way.
Another big curveball. He has seen nothing but off-speed stuff so far, and rightfully so. He's walked 6 times this year. Got a 3-1 count right now.
Got the eye black going too.
You know, I was never a big fan of the eye black. As that one swung on and lifted out to left field, giving chase is no one. He'll go all the way back just short of the wall, but just like that, Mount Ida sets down Taylor 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball and Softball Championships in Arkansas PBS Sports.
Can you see her greatness? When you attend her games, when you cheer her on, or when you participate in any way, you support your community and make it better, and you will see her greatness. Join us as we pledge to increase the visibility of women's sports in our communities. It makes a difference when we all are involved. At Everett Buick GMC, we proudly support our local female athletes and encourage you to do the same. See her greatness.
Arkansas, what's in your attic? Find out what your heirlooms, antiques, and collectibles are worth. Join us for the filming of a brand new show, Arkansas Treasures. This special event happens at the Arkansas PBS Studios in Conway on August 5th and 6th. Tickets will go quickly, so guarantee your spot by calling or visiting our website. If your item and story are selected for filming, you may end up on our show. Your treasure may be worth more than you know.
1, 2, 3, turn it up! Whoa.
Welcome back. At Wendy's, we're focused on what matters. That's why we've made our hamburgers square. When you want to experience the delicious taste of Wendy's hamburgers, square's the beef.
Well, so now Mount Ida looking to extend to their 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the second inning. They'll have their 8-9 one-hitters up, and Chandler Perkins going to lead things off. He's a right fielder today, batting .318 from the right side. First pitch is going to be up high, and that'll start him off on the day. Four-sport athlete, has a 3.2 GPA. 1-0 is low. You know, one thing, Kyle, that I've heard other people say when they play on turf, if they're not used to playing, it takes you a minute just to get used to it, because it plays the same, but you don't have the dirt that you're pushing off of. You're pushing off just regular rubber, and if you're just not used to that feel, it's a little bit different.
Sliding as well is some of the biggest thing, and you'll see a lot of teams come out and practice doing exactly that.
Here's the 2-1. It's way up high, and it's 3-1.
Does feel like more and more teams, though, are installing turf around high school. The maintenance, makes it so much easier.
You know, I kind of wish that whenever I was in college and high school, we had turf a little bit. Here's the 3-1, and it's going to be called a strike. Perkins thought he was going to get a free pass, and now got a full count. There it is, swung on straight up the middle, but right there is the pitcher, Peyton Smith, who's able to get the put out.
All right, excellent job there defensively. Thought that was going to get right by him off the bat. Good job to settle in here. I think that's a big first out after a difficult top of the first.
So that brings up Ben Woodfield now, the second baseman. That's .286 with 3 home runs. First pitch is going to be outside, and it'll go to 1-0. After Woodfield, they'll get back to the top of the lineup with Jacob Woodfield. As that's a curveball that's in there for a called strike.
Love the sets of brothers on teams.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot of fun.
1-1's the count. As that one's slapped to second base, and Smith is able to get the put out on the 4-3 put out, and there's 2 outs now here in the second.
Competitive spirit in practice when you know it's brother against brother.
Today's umpires, Justin Allen's behind the home plate, James Johnson is at first base, and Paul Patton, the third base umpire for this 1A Boys State Championship. So now Jacob Woodfield, who grounded out to the second baseman earlier, gives this one a ride out to center field, but it's not enough as Mount Ida goes 1-2-3 here in the second inning. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first. By empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charity, education, and exceptional service. Because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
We never gonna stop.
Good one here in Conway. And hey, the Children's Clinic of Conway and Greenbrier is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. The Children's Clinic of Conway and Greenbrier, serving Conway and surrounding areas with locations at 2505 College Avenue in Conway and 10 Lois Lane in Greenbrier.
Shortstop today. He bats .429 with 28 RBI this year for the Taylor Tigers, and I don't think Taylor really expected to start that first inning with a 1-2-3 inning, and they're going to try to get on the board as they trail 1-0 here in the 1A state championship game. So Woodle will take the first pitch outside, and it's 1-0. Pitch is swung on and missed. Evens the count at 1-1.
It's a high batting average team, Taylor. We know that's not always the best measurement nowadays, but
yeah.
1 through 9, a lot of these numbers really stand out.
Ball hits the dirt, and that'll take the count to 2-1. Now, the thing about Waylon Woodle is that if he gets on the bags, he leads the team with stolen bases this year. He's got 10 so far, and so he's a threat to run if he gets on the bags.
10 doubles as well. With that speed, able to stretch out extra base hits.
Takes the count to 3-1. And you can tell that Caleb White's being a little careful with the way that he pitches to Woodle, and he's going to give him his first walk of the game. You know, with that average and the ability to drive in runs, you really want to be careful with how he handled him at the plate.
Yeah, I think we've seen it a couple times from Caleb White. We saw some off-speed stuff facing some of Taylor's 500 and 481 hitters, so yeah. I think Caleb White's been very careful.
So now you got Jesse Humphreys, the first baseman, who bats .269. He gives this one a ride to left center field, and they'll knock that one down, but it does advance Woodle to second base. And that's the first base hit of the ball game for the Taylor Tigers.
Good swing there. One of the first times Caleb White sort of challenged a hitter, threw that one right down the plate.
So now Austin Aycock, the left fielder, will be up. He's batting .379 this year with 23 RBI. First pitch, he shows bunt, slaps it foul. He'll start off 0-1. Good idea with runners at first and second.
With the last 5 hitters here. Sophomore, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, sophomore for Taylor.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. They've got a little dynasty going down in Taylor, as much baseball history as they've got down there. As that pitch is up high, and he doesn't have to worry about the bunt. Runners are going to advance after the wild pitch, and that'll send Woodle to third base and Humphreys to second. So you've got a 1-1 count on Austin Aycock with runners at second and third. Off-speed pitch misses high, and it's now 2-1.
The big guy uses that off-speed stuff heavily, doesn't he?
He really does. He likes to use the changeup and the curveball a lot. As that one swung on and fouled back, and it evens the count at 2 apiece.
That's a center's frame right there.
He is a big kid. Curveball misses inside. You can see right there that Roughton tried to frame that one up to get the strikeout, but instead it goes to 3-2.
I thought he did a nice job of doing so.
Here's the 3-2 offering. That swung on, popped up on the infield. Coming over is the third baseman, McCullough, and he's going to catch it for the out. That'll be the first out here in the second. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jasper Jones, who's batting .305 with 23 RBI this year.
I think that's one that Aycock would want back on a full count there.
First pitch to him is chopped down to the third baseman. He'll throw across the diamond for the out, and it'll score a run. They do get the out to get 2 outs, so that'll bring in Woodle for the first run for Taylor to tie the ball game. That will advance Humphreys over to third base. And now Caleb Downs will come to the plate with 2 outs.
Good chopper that does the job right there. Take the fielder's choice, tie this one at 1.
This one swung on out to second. And quickly, Wooten's able to give it over to Gilbert for the 4-3 putout. And so the limited damage is done as Taylor scores 1 run on 1 base hit to tie the ball game in the 1A Boys State Championship game. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
This month on Arkansas PBS.
I know your grandfather will never consent to me.
Is it not perfectly dreadful, Harriet, to learn that our niece's honor is now certainly lost? Fearfully romantic, though.
Elizabeth? She's missing and I'm worried sick.
Mum.
You don't believe me?
You've got to stop all this nonsense. The world-famous thief.
Father Brown's friend and nemesis is in trouble.
Flambeau is now a killer.
For once I'm innocent.
Only on Arkansas PBS.
Griffin Leggett Funeral Home is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports, serving the Conway area, located at 1751 Dave Ward Drive in Conway. Griffin Leggett proudly serving our communities in Central Arkansas since 1936.
So Mount Ida's going to have their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in Carter Roughton, Caleb White, and Kane McCullough. As Roughton back in the first inning got hit by a pitch, as the first pitch to him is outside this time.
Yeah, wound up scoring, and that's kind of been the story of the game a little bit for Mount Ida. They were able to take advantage of Smith, who had some issues with control a little bit in the top of the first, but boy, to his credit, he really settled down and got a 1-2-3 second.
No, he's got the 2-0 hole on him right now as Carter Roughton has been patient. Talked about Roughton and his .291 average and being a catcher for this Mount Ida team. As that is a strike on that inside half of the plate.
Good pitch.
And I think if you're Roughton, you just let that one go by and to make him throw you a strike.
Yeah, that has to be the discussion right now in the Mount Ida dugout.
Here's the 2-1. That one is low, but they call it a strike at the knees. You can hear right there the Mount Ida faithful, they're not very happy with the call on that one, as they thought it was a little bit low, but either way, it's 2-2. That one is low, and it's full count. So full count to Carter Roughton. As that one one swung back at the box out to short as Woodfield's gonna, or excuse me, that's Woodall's gonna throw it over to Humphreys for the first out. 6-3 on the putout, and now Caleb White is at the plate.
A nice job by Smith there. He was behind in the count 2-0. And that's 5 straight batters retired by Smith.
So now Caleb White struck out, or he had the batter's interference there in the first inning. As he'll take a first pitch that's outside.
Pitcher on pitcher here.
One oh's the count. That one's going to hit off the turf to take it 2-0.
White, a senior. A lot of people who follow them will say just feels like he has played for this Mount Ida team for a long time. And, you know, what a time to be a part of this Mount Ida program, to make it to the semifinals for the first time a year ago. And now make it to the state championship game for the first time in program history.
And you've got Caleb White sitting here with a 3-0 count. That one's going to be outside, 4 straight balls, and Caleb White is going to head to first base with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Third walk from Smith.
Here's a look at Thomas Wilson, the head coach for Mount Ida. Kane McCullough is going to be up next. He got a base hit to right field back in the 1st inning. That swung on and missed.
And what a job Coach Wilson has done. I was just so surprised that the Lions had not even played for a state championship when you think about the success of so many of their programs. Mount Ida is one of those schools that pops up in just about every sport.
Here's the 0-1, swung on, lifted out to left field. Coming in is Aycock, and he'll make the 2nd out. So there's 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning as Ramsey Gilbert will be at the plate. He walked back in the 1st inning. That swung, lifted out to left field again. Aycock sliding in, makes the catch. Nice job that time by Austin Aycock to come in and get the out, and Mount Ida is going to send 4 players to the plate, put 1 on, but they can't scratch across the run as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1-1's our score. You're watching the Centennial Bank Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
People would come from miles around to come to 9th Street just to see what it was like.
I'm saying this was the mecca of entertainment in the South.
I want to blow the roof off of this sucker.
We thought we was on top of the world.
Download the PBS video app or watch online.
Can you see her greatness? When you attend her games, when you cheer her on, or when you participate in any way, you support your community and make it better, and you will see her greatness. Join us as we pledge to increase the visibility of women's sports in our communities. It makes a difference when we all are involved. At Everett Buick GMC, we proudly support our local female athletes and encourage you to do the same. See her greatness.
Our PBS Student All-Star of the game right here, Dax Hip from West Side. He's a shortstop senior with a 4 GPA attending college to attain a degree in business. From Westside, it's Dax Hipp, who is our all-star PBS Student of the Year. How about that for 1A?
Honored for name alone, Dax Hipp.
Might be, you know, one thing that I've learned over the years that parents have gotten real creative with names. I mean, they really have. If you look across college football, some of the names that we've seen, Bumper Pool roll through, I mean, names have just really gotten good.
I've noticed a lot of Jacksons over the next few days, but spelled Jaxson.
Yeah. Well, Aiden Hosley is going to be at the plate to lead things off for Taylor as he's got a 2-0 count on him right now. This is Hosley's first time at the plate today, and he'll take a strike on the inside corner to go to 2-1. The 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Taylor Tigers, as that's a check swing to take it to 2-2. In the bottom of the third inning, tie ball game in the 1A Boys State Championship. Big curveball that misses high.
Feels like a big half inning here for Taylor. You know, the longer you let Mount Ida, the heavy underdog in this game, hang around, the more confident they get.
Here's one that's slapped off the handle of the bat right into the hands of Caleb White for the first out. So now Peyton Smith is at the plate. He flied to left field back in the first inning. Got a big bat, 481 average, 34 RBI this year, 5 home runs, and he's only struck out 10 times.
22 extra base hits, 18 for 18 on the base pass if he gets on.
First pitch is outside to him.
54 runs, a team high, 16 doubles, a team high. It's a leadoff man who gets on base. He has been hit by a pitch 20 times this season. That is 7 more than anybody else in a Tigers uniform.
How about that big curveball as it goes high to go 2-1.
Yeah, White's thrown that pitch with great effectiveness.
As this one swung on, giving chase is the right fielder. Dive, did he catch it? No. Good effort by Chandler Perkins. He had it in his glove. That was a long run, and it hit off of his glove, and he gave good effort. And that puts Peyton Smith on the bags with 1 out here in the third inning.
I thought for a moment he might have gotten it there. Kind of trapped it under himself and did a good job hiding it. That was a great effort.
So Mason Lindsay's at the plate. He grounded out to the shortstop back in the first inning. Here's a curveball that it hit him. They said it hit off of his elbow, and so he'll be on the bags now. That'll move Peyton Smith to second base, and Lindsay will be on. That's the second hit batsman we've seen. Each team's now had 1.
I think that's going to happen from Caleb White. He's got these big looping curveballs.
Yeah.
And those are going to find a player or two.
So now Preston Smith is at the plate. He flied to left field back in the first, and he'll take a curveball that misses outside.
And that has some serious 12-6 action on these.
It really is. Another big curveball misses outside. Two balls, no strikes. As that one's lifted foul down the left field side. Brings the count to 2-1. Runners are at first and second.
And this is exactly who you want up, a 500 hitter who leads your team in RBI with 39.
Here's the 2-1 curveball that brought the catcher Routon out of his stance to get, and that takes the count to 3-1.
That was a great job to get out of his stance so quick and prevent the runners from advancing.
So 3 balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way, misses high and outside. Now bases are loaded. I think if you are head coach Thomas Wilson, you go out and have a conversation with your pitcher.
Hey, Hideaway Pizza is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports, serving Conway and the Central Arkansas area at 1170 South Amity Road in Conway.
So now Waylon Woodle, the shortstop, is going to be at the plate after the meeting on the mound between Roughton and his pitcher Caleb White. And so Woodle's going to be at the plate. He walked back in the 2nd inning, later came around to score. But you've got bases loaded with 1 out here in the 3rd. Curveball lifted to right field, and it's going to get in for a base hit. 2 runs are going to score, and Taylor is going to take the lead here in the 3rd. Peyton Smith is going to come in to score, and Mason Lindsay is going to come in and score.
Good piece of hitting there. First pitch swinging. Hung up in the air for just a second, but lands where it's impossible to get to. And now you're going to see Coach Wilson come out and talk to his pitcher, Caleb White, as you mentioned in the previous at-bat, RJ. A nice job by Taylor. It's worth repeating, this is a Taylor team that just run-ruled Mount Ida less than 2 weeks ago, May 6th. So they came in, I think, with a lot of confidence, sort of expecting to do the same, and Mount Ida, to their credit, jumped out to a 1-0 lead. But as we mentioned, this felt like a time here where Taylor could take advantage, especially when you get a couple on.
Looks like Mount Ida's got some work in the bullpen working. We'll find out who that is here in a moment. And if you're Caleb Smith, I mean, he was hanging his curveball, and you knew that eventually Taylor was going to come in and go, get a hang of how that, how to sit back and wait on it. And now you see that right here, that they've taken a 3-1 lead.
I think you've seen more patient at-bats from Taylor, too. They came up swinging in that first inning.
Jesse Humphreys is at the plate as he sees a curveball that sails high. He, back in the 2nd inning, got a base hit to left field. Here's the 1-0. Curveball up high. He just can't get it to turn over right now. There's a nice pitch that is belt high. Brings the count to 2-1. Two-1 misses low, and that takes the count to 3-1.
And this is exactly what we saw from Preston Smith, being behind in the count, having to battle back earlier in the game.
This one is fouled off down the left field side, and that'll bring the count to 3-2.
Still just 1 out in the inning, by the way.
Here's the 3-2 that slap foul. Jesse Humphreys hanging around with it to stay at the plate, as there's still only 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Big inning so far for the Taylor Tigers. And that's going to miss inside, and he's going to head down to first base. And once again, Taylor's got the bases loaded.
Yeah, 2 walks and a hit by pitch in this inning from Caleb White. But this is who they trust. When you're 7-1, this is the guy you believe in. Both these teams pretty deep pitching.
So now at the plate is Austin Aycock, the left fielder. He popped up to the 3rd baseman back in the 2nd inning. And that one's lifted out to the third base. They make the throw home. It's no good. It's going to actually score 2 runs. They tried to just instead of getting the out at first, he tried to go with the or go to the play at home, and they just weren't expecting it. And it scores not 1 but 2 runs as Preston Smith comes in as Waylon Woodall comes in.
That's a tough throw to make. I wonder if that's one of those situations where you trade the run for an out right there.
First pitch to Jasper Jones is fouled away.
4 runs in the inning now for Taylor.
And they've only done it on 2 hits.
Yeah.
There's a curveball that misses. And honestly, Kyle, a lot of this, the runs that have scored are self-inflicted on Mount Ida. As this one's chopped out to short, they're going to try to get the double play. It's too high. They do get the out at second for 2 outs. So that will advance Humphreys to third, and then Aycock is out at second base. 6-4 on the putout. And Jasper Jones is at first base. So now Caleb Downs is at the plate, and if he gets through, Taylor will have batted around this inning.
Good time to calm things down here from the catcher route. But I think that's a good point, RJ. Some self-inflicted wounds from Mount Ida. One of those moments I think we were trying to do a little bit too much sometimes. And, you know, instead of making the simple throws, to try to do a little bit more. It's too cliche to say that's sort of what you expect sometimes from a team that hasn't necessarily been here, but sometimes you do see that.
There's a nice pitch that went down the heart of the plate. Brings the count to 1-1. Way outside. It's all about, you know, I've been doing these games for a while. You've got to have control on the mound. If you want to stay in these games, just got to be able to find the zone. And that can be said for all of baseball, but here's the 2-1.
Yeah, I think you certainly see it's true at this level. You got to throw strikes. You got to give yourself a chance. But to your point, we see it at the next level too. How quick is Dave Van Horn to pull a pitcher if he's not throwing strikes?
Yeah, 100%. 2-2's on the way, and it's up high. But I think that also at the high school level, it's even more important just because you just don't have as many pitchers as what you might have at the collegiate level. I mean, you watch the UCA game tomorrow night, and they're going to have a whole bullpen full of guys. As that one's popped up to right field, and giving chase in the foul territory is Perkins, and he can't quite get to it as it goes into the bullpen. And so that'll keep the count at 3-2. You can see right there, Caleb White's ready to get out of this inning. He just kind of had that look like, this can't end fast enough. 3-2's lifted out to short. It's a line drive, and that will get him out of the inning. But not until Taylor. They work the entire lineup this inning, and they score 4 runs on 2 base hits. We head to the top of the 4th inning, and you're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first, by empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charities, education, and exceptional service. Because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Not a bad investment.
That's like a 6,900% increase.
Now that's money well spent.
Excellent.
Not a bad investment.
Your investment in this PBS station brings Antiques Roadshow into your home each week.
That's a good investment.
Call, text, or go online to give now.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Papa's got a brand new bag, I'll tell you what.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
Back at Bear Stadium, a Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. For those in the community looking for meal options after the game, Raising Cane's is known for their hand-battered chicken fingers and special sauce. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. Well, all these restaurants here in Conway, RJ, what a great moment.
You know, I live over in the Benton Bryant area, and I started hearing Raising Cane's and all these other folks. Come on down to Saline County. We need some of you folks down that way.
Hey, and how great is it going to be to walk around historic downtown Conway? It's been a great couple weeks. You had Toad Suck here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome as Tyler Petty is at the plate. And first pitch to him is called ball.
They've done a lot with downtown Conway. Really pretty to walk around.
Counts 2-0, and there's the line right now on Peyton Smith. Worked 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 1 unearned. That pitch is going to be below the knees to take the count 3-0.
He has retired 7 of the last 8 batters faced. He has really settled in, Peyton Smith.
It's the 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Mount Ida this inning. And that one's going to be at the top of the zone, called a strike.
He's allowed 2 hits in this game, one of them to Tyler Petty, who had Mount Ida's RBI.
And that one's going to miss outside. He'll be on the bases for the 2nd time today.
Left fielder Lane Nolan.
So now at the plate, Lane Nolan. He'll be up as he flied to center field back in the 1st inning. First pitch is going to miss low. You know, Kyle, I mean, and this is kind of the broadcaster curse. You don't say it, but I'm going to. For as many walks and everything that we've seen, we just now hit the hour mark for this ball game. I mean, it has moved fairly, effectively throughout this one. The game started at 10-11, and with all the walks that we've seen, they've moved the game along still.
High school pitchers pitch quick too, don't they? I mean,
well, not
they
all
keep
of
a
them.
good pitch.
Hey, look, I've been in some games. You would think that he was out there ordering pizza.
That's true. Hey, hotel accommodations and sponsorship for the 2023 Arkansas High School State Baseball and Softball Championship broadcasts are provided by Hilton Garden Inn at 805 Amity Road in Conway and the Home 2 Suites at 820 Bill Dean Drive in Conway.
Lane Nolan is at the plate with a runner at first base, and he's going to give that one a ride to right field. And right there is Downs, and he'll make the catch. So now Chandler Perkins is up. Perkins lined out to the pitcher back in the 2nd inning. Another 4-sport athlete, that being Perkins.
How much does it help too? So many of these guys are multi-sport athletes. Perkins, football, basketball, baseball, track. Means they're all playing together every single season.
First pitch is outside to him. Well, and not only that, but you get a winning, you win in football, you win in basketball. It all just translates to the next sport. And, once you get that that culture of winning within your school and within your program, it just feeds off one another.
Yeah, you don't have to establish camaraderie in a locker room. It exists.
Yeah.
It moves over from one sport to the next.
You know, I think so often we've seen kids to only be one sport athletes. You know, they just want to focus on one sport. But, man, I've always been of the opinion you play more than one sport, it's only going to make you a better player overall.
Yeah, we mentioned it helps with so many different things in life.
And the 3-0 pitch is called a strike. It was inside. Perkins thought he was going to get a free pass. He'll have to hang up there with a 3-1 count. There's the 3-1. That's now a 3-2 count. And quickly, he's going to have to make a decision. Here it is. That's going to be low, and he'll be on the bags, and Mount Ida's got runners at first and second. Good at bat by Chandler Perkins, and now the 9-hole hitter, Ben Woodfield's going to be at the plate.
Yeah, good battle there from the 8-hole hitter. Woodfield's a guy we may see pitch later in this game. 5-2 with a couple saves.
Now, take some time to think about this one as you've got runners, or a runner in scoring position, as that one's going to be roped to right field. All right there making a great play as a second baseman, Preston Smith, to get the out. The runners do advance, but boy, the range that he had to be able to get the ball and glove it and make the throw was really impressive.
Not just the range, but boy, the angle at which he had to move to get that. Nice play.
So there's 2 outs now here in the 4th with runners at second and third. And that ball gets past him. 1 run's going to come in and score. Mount Ida's on with 2 runs here now in the ball game.
I thought Lindsey did a nice job playing that off the backstop and made it a closer play than I think we assumed it may be. But look, he got a great jump, slides in there and gets under him.
I think with the, you know, what you talked about a minute ago with the turf, you saw how early he got into his slide. Turf gives you a little bit of, it's like a slip and slide. As ball's down low. There's a strike called to bring the count to 2-1. Caught the inside corner of the plate. It's now 2-2. And that's swung on and missed, and that's going to retire the inning. So Jacob Woodfield strikes out, but not until Mount Ida scores 1 run in the inning. They strand a runner. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning where Taylor leads at 5-2. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
What exactly did they get wrong?
That Arkansas values our teachers.
The House and Senate thought was very disingenuous.
Arkansas Week is celebrating 40 years of public affairs programming. From news analysis to election and legislative coverage, see why Arkansas Week has become a staple for thousands of viewers every week. Tune in Fridays and Sundays and stay up to date the rest of the week by signing up for our newsletter at myarpbs.org/signup.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
1, 2, 3, turn up! Whoa. It's going up in here! Let's go!
Welcome back to Bear Stadium. A special thank you to Conway Corp for their help setting up the event and broadcast. Conway Corp was formed in 1929 to support education in Conway, and more than 90 years later, serving the community and its educational needs remains a core value. Learn more about the nationally recognized utilities provided for the community at conwaycorp.com.
Not gonna lie, I used to live in Conway, right? Lived here a long time. Conway Corp is like the single greatest utility company on planet Earth. I mean, I've lived in a lot of different places. I mean, until you actually get to experience it, like everything being bundled into one, you have no idea. But it's pretty awesome.
Special thank you for sure to Conway Corp, the entire Arkansas PBS sports crew, which has had to adapt just a little bit here over the course of the week, and all the good folks at UCA for making these broadcasts possible.
Well, so we get back to the 9-hole hitter, and that's Aiden Hosley. And Hosley quickly has a 2-0 count on him. It's the 9-1-2 hitters due up here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Good to have a 345 hitter hitting 9th.
Yeah. Every team wants a 345 hitter at 9th. Curveball's going to hit him. And not only do you want a 345 hitter batting 9th, but get a leadoff hitter that's hit by a pitch.
And a top of the order now, guy hitting 481. You know, I've been impressed. I think Peyton Smith has pitched well. First 2 runs were in the last, for Mount Ida, to Caleb White, but I don't know how SAU will use Peyton Smith, whether on the mound or somewhere on the field, but he can do it all. I think he's pitched really well for Taylor.
Well, I think the fact that he has a 481 batting average with 34 RBI this year, you could use him just about anywhere you wanted him. Brings the count to 1-1.
So he has 5 home runs. His brother Preston has 6. That's all 11 home runs in the season for Taylor.
You don't think that they have a little bit of competition, do you? Like, who's going to end the season with more home runs?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. And that one's going to hit him. And Caleb White thinks that he leaned into it. But they're saying he didn't lean into it. And now Taylor's got runners at 1st and 2nd.
Good look there. I don't think he did.
And Thomas Wilson having another conversation. So now you've got runners at 1st and 2nd. Your 2-hole hitter, Mason Lindsay's at the plate. He got hit by a pitch back in the 3rd.
And scored, and that's kind of been the story of this game.
He's going to show bunt, puts it down. Right back at the pitcher. He looks at 3rd, goes back to 1st, and they get the out. So now you've got Preston Smith at the plate. He walked back in the 3rd inning.
Well, smart there from Caleb White, too, because we saw Mount Ida a couple times try to do a little bit too much early. Just take the out, the easy out at first.
And Preston Smith, another hit by pitch, and so he'll head to, we've got bases loaded now here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Or intentional walk, that is. As this one swung on, lifted out to center field, and he'll make the catch. They're going to send the runner home, and he'll score easily. So Aiden Hosley comes in to score.
Well, you don't blame them for working around a 500 hitter in Preston Smith, and you take your chances with the guys following him.
So the first pitch to him is 0-1 to Jesse Humphreys, who he's been on the bags twice today. In the second inning, got a base hit to left field. And then in the third, he got walked. Curveball, and they're called a strike.
Tall, lanky first baseman, chance to break this one wide open here.
No balls, 2 strikes. Curveball swung on out to first base. As coming in is going to be Gilbert to step on the bag for the second out. Third out, excuse me. I got a little confused on the screen there. Either way, it's 6-2. Taylor leads Mount Ida. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This month on Arkansas PBS.
The more time I spend in nature, I realize how fragile everything is.
Give nature a chance and it'll come right back. That's what we're asking for, is to give the right will a chance.
The mystery ship thought Titanic would not sink. How could any ship leave a ship, especially of Titanic's size, in distress?
Only on Arkansas PBS.
Can you see her greatness? When you attend her games, when you cheer her on, or when you participate in any way, you support your community and make it better, and you will see her greatness. Join us as we pledge to increase the visibility of women's sports in our communities. It makes a difference when we all are involved. At Everett Buick GMC, we proudly support our local female athletes and encourage you to do the same. See her greatness.
We never gonna stop. We never gonna stop.
6-2, Taylor. It was really kind of back and forth for the first few innings, and then Taylor really got on the board and started swinging the bats and run after run. And really it was more pitching that got them on the bags, because they've only had 3 hits in the ball game, and Taylor leads at 6-2, and they have really done a good job of just taking advantage of what, you know, the pitching that they've received so far in this one.
Yeah, I think Taylor came out swinging in this game, but they have shown far more patient at bats, and they've been able to take advantage of it, take advantage of walks, hit by pitches, and see the result here. Again, this is a Taylor team that run-ruled Mount Ida less than 2 weeks ago, and certainly felt like they were going to do the same. And to the Lions' credit, they came out swinging, took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first, but Taylor's been able to capitalize on Caleb White from the mound.
Yeah, and for Mount Ida, they're going to have their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up with Carter Roughton, Caleb White, and Kane McCullough. And look, the score may be 6-2, but I mean, this is by far not out of reach by Mount Ida in any way, shape, or form.
No, but you got to start to make up some ground in this inning.
100%. And you've got your top of your order up as Carter Roughton's up, and he'll give this one a ride foul. Roughton so far today got hit by a pitch back in the first inning and then grounded out to short in the third.
New pitcher, by the way, Jesse Humphreys on the mound.
That one sails high.
So the first baseman on the mound here for Taylor, and ends the day for Preston Smith, who after that first I thought really settled in and pitched well.
We'll get you Humphreys' line here, or not Humphreys' line, Preston Smith's line here in just a moment. That one's up high as well.
4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks and a strikeout. 1 wild pitch.
Not a bad day at the plate. Counts 0-1. There, it's up high, and he's going to walk. So that will bring to the plate Caleb White now.
The batting pitcher, Caleb White.
So White today struck out and walked. As the first pitch to him is called a strike. Six to 2 is our score as Taylor leads it. They are the defending state champions in Class 1A. There's a big swing to right field. And Downs is going to be right there to make the catch. That's the first out here in the 5th. And that'll send Kane McCullough to the plate. He had a base hit back in the first inning.
Caleb White swinging for the fences there.
So Kane McCullough is at the plate. And he gives this one a ride. That's a base hit to right field. And runners will be at the corners.
Two-hit day for Kane McCullough. A couple base hits that find the gap.
So now Ramsey Gilbert will be up. He walked back in the first, fly to left back in the third.
Well, it feels like this has got to be Mount Ida's inning here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Got to scratch 1 or 2 across. You've only got 1 out here in the inning. Pitch is up high. Ramsey Gilbert came into the ball game batting .295.
I have been looking at this sign all game, the Lions sign.
Is that what, I thought it said snot there for a minute. I'm not going to lie. I thought
it took
said
me a little
snot.
bit to figure it out.
As he gives this one a ride out to center field. Setting up is Petrie, and he'll make the catch, and that'll score a run for Mount Ida. So a sac fly for Ramsey Gilbert. And now Tyler Petty's at the plate.
Well, got a good hold of it there and does the job.
So Tyler Petty, who had a base hit back in the first inning, then he walked in the fourth. Ball's going to get past or it's going to be fouled back.
If we could find a way to flip it around, get Lions right side up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But I don't blame you for thinking that because it took
really
me a second too.
Yeah, that's really what I thought. I just wasn't going to bring it up. Here's the 0-1. That's fouled out of play down the right field side.
Well, Petty's had quite the day. RBI single to left in the first, walked and scored in the fourth. .375 hitter at DH.
First, the pitch is outside, runner goes, he's safe. McCullough gets on with a stolen base at second. Now you got a runner in scoring position.
Got to try to be a little bit aggressive here on the base pass, I think, too, if you're Mount Ida. Maybe a little bit more willing to take some chances.
So far,
scratch across some runs.
Mount Ida 3 runs on 3 hits. That swung on and fouled back for Taylor. They've scored 6 runs on 3 hits. That is swung on, lifted out to center field, but Petrie's right there to retire the inning. So Mount Ida did scratch 1 run across with 1 base hit in the inning. They now trail 6-3 to Taylor. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank is committed to you. Since our founding in 1999, we've become one of the nation's most trusted banks by remembering that you come first, by empowering our communities to reach their highest potential through our dedication to local charities, education, and exceptional service, because we are proud to call Arkansas home. Banking with you in mind. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
A special thank you to the University of Central Arkansas for their help setting up and hosting the event and broadcast. Central Arkansas Athletics, home to 19 NCAA Division I sports and over 450 student athletes who succeed on both the fields and courts, as well as in the classroom. Visit ucasports.com to learn more. Next to a former Bear himself right here.
Proud former Bear. In fact, the UCA softball team, tonight they play in the regional, the softball regional.
In Tuscaloosa, right?
Yeah, Tuscaloosa taking on Middle Tennessee, and they're having a great year. Boy, I don't know if you got to see, but over the softball park, when the Razorbacks came to town, they set an attendance record, but they did a drone shot over the top of the stadium. Probably one of the coolest pictures that I've seen come out of any UCA athletic sporting event. So proud of what they've done and what the entire athletic department has done. Hey, they did flip the sign back over for you.
Oh, perfect.
Somebody went and told the line sign to flip back over. Either way, Taylor's back up here in the inning as they're going to send their 6, 7, 8 hitters up, and Austin Aycock, Jasper Jones, and Caleb Downs. Austin Aycock, he popped out to third back in the second inning and then had a fielder's choice in the third.
See, now I feel bad because she's got to hold it up.
Yeah.
We'll run down there and give her some tape.
There's a nice pitch at the knees to call a strike.
Hey, what a time, though, in the state for baseball, for softball, both high school and college.
Yeah. There's a pitch. It's right back up in the box. Nice grab. And he makes the play at first. How about that? The 6-3 putout. And it was from Ben Woodfield to Ramsey Gilbert. That is a heck of a play.
Well, I wasn't sure you had a chance there. What a throw. I'll take another look here. Slid for the extra effort and just got him.
So Jasper Jones is at the plate. That's over the top of him, but he had a fielder's choice back in the second inning that drove in an RBI, and then a fielder's choice in the third. And now he's got a 2-0 count on him.
How about Mount Ida sticking with Caleb White on the mound? This is their guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's outside of this one, he's finding the zone a little bit more as he has gone on in the game.
And he has had to navigate out of some trouble in every inning other than the first. He had a 1-2-3 first.
That one swung on, lifted into foul territory, and not quite able to get to it as Perkins gave it chase. Brings the count to 2-1. There's one that's slapped to second. 4-3 on the putout. So 2 outs here in the fifth, and Caleb Downs comes to the plate. He is 0 for 2 on the day, grounded to second base in the second, and then lined out to short in the third. First pitch to him is up high. It's 1-0. There's a good shot of Brian Fowler, the head coach for Taylor. As that ball is down low and called a strike.
And we mentioned his mantra for this team, as cliche as it sounds, is win the next pitch. Whether you're in the batter's box, if you're on the mound, win the next pitch, win the next pitch.
Pitch is outside. He's kind of just a calm, cool guy that, you know, his team, they're a direct reflection of what he does, as that one's fouled back.
He's got a Taylor team with just some great athletes. I mean, 1 through 9, just a good combination of great frame, good speed. These are good baseball players.
Off the end of the bat, 4-3 on the putout, and the slide is not enough for Taylor, and Mount Ida goes 1-2-3. They sit them down. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning, or the top of the sixth inning, excuse me, as Taylor leads Mount Ida 6-3. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Support your PBS station and you can get Passport, giving you full seasons, early releases, special collections, and more.
Download the PBS Video app or watch online.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
For a copy of any of the state championship games, go to mnmproductions.net to place your order. Maybe a popular game to save in Tiger Country if they can hang on here.
Yeah, and you know, this has been impressive what both these teams have done in this game. I mean, especially we talked about it. You know, both these teams they've seen each other a lot, and it's been all Taylor the first two outings, and Mount Ida's hanging in there right now as they've got an 0-1 count, and at the plate is Lane Nolan.
How about the crowd on hand, too? Had a nice pan of the stands there.
That one's ripped out to short. Coming up to make the throw is Woodle, and that's the first out.
Small towns always show up with these tremendous crowds.
So that brings to the plate Chandler Perkins, who on the day is 0 for 1 with a walk. He walked back in the 4th inning.
Game 1 of 2, by the way, for you and I today. Bentonville and Harbor to follow.
And don't forget about tonight, right here in Arkansas PBS, you got softball going on.
Yeah, that Cabot-Bryant matchup should be a lot of fun.
Here's the 0-1, popped up right side into foul territory. He lost it in the sun, and the second baseman, that time Preston Smith, came over to try to give a little help.
Yeah, that's a tough play to make there. Yeah, Taylor Bradley and softball to follow as well. I think Bentonville and Harbor is a pretty evenly matched game. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The surprise is who is not here in Rogers.
Here's a hit by pitch. So Perkins is going to head down to first base. Yeah, no, talking about that 6A matchup. Rogers, probably one of the best teams in the state, and they got beat in the semifinals.
Two of the hottest teams. And the same story here for Taylor and Mount Ida. Taylor's been #1 all season, the defending state champs. Nobody in the bullpen there, you see. Taylor sticking with Humphreys. They are 5 outs away from a back-to-back title.
There's a swing, and he gives it a ride to left field, and it goes foul. Well, he gave that one a charge, didn't he?
Sure did.
Here's Jesse Humphreys' line so far. 1 in a 3rd innings pitched, a hit and a run and a walk so far. There's a curveball that misses outside.
His height, Humphreys, it comes down at a tough angle.
Here's the 1-1. Bounces. That'll send the runner to second as Perkins will easily get into second after the pass ball.
He's got that kind of high slot delivery where it really comes down to the tough angle.
So 2-1's the count, runner at second base. That's swung on and fouled out of play. He's hanging in there right now, that being Ben Woodfield. That one bounces off the turf. Brings the count to 3-2.
Talked about the games later today. I think it's a whole weekend, RJ, of just some really good matchups.
A lot of return champions or people that have been in the game before are making their way back this weekend.
Yeah, a chance to see some history. Little Rock Christian and Valley View stands out on Saturday as a great matchup.
That Valley View team's really good as that one's fouled straight up the elevator chute. Coming back, makes the catch. Great job by Mason Lindsay right up against the fence. There's 2 outs.
That's quite the effort. Take another look at this from Lindsay. Off the bat, sky high. First of all, you got to spot where that is, and then get under it with your back to the field, not running into that backstop. Excellent job from Lindsay.
That is pretty impressive. So now you've got 2 outs here in the 6th, and then Mount Ida's going to go back to the top of the lineup with Jacob Woodfield. Ball's inside. Runners at second base for Mount Ida. Here's the 1-0. Misses low, goes 2-0.
Are your allergies acting up when you just see the pollen that sort of
I'm telling you what,
over the turf?
You know,
there?
you almost
looks like snowflakes.
You almost were doing this game by yourself because after yesterday, I had to go get a shot to get my voice back.
I'm glad you're here, buddy.
There's a shot outside that's going to be called a strike.
And we'll welcome in Kevin Bohannon on Saturday.
Yeah. And then tonight you've got
Bobby Swafford and Dorian Kraft.
Dorian Kraft, yeah.
Who will do an excellent job on softball.
Here's the 2-1. This is low, goes 3-1. Yeah, I don't know about you, but this time of year, my face swells a little bit, and the allergies really just, much like a lot of people. But
yeah.
Boy, this last week it's been rough.
It's runny nose time.
Here's the 3-1. Up high, it'll be a walk. So that'll bring up Carter Roughton to the plate. Roughton today got hit by a pitch. He lined out to short, and then he got walked back in the 5th.
He really got things going for Mount Ida in the top of the 1st. Hit by pitch, winds up scoring Mount Ida's first run. Both these teams are so good. A reason they're here, they are good at taking advantage of other teams' mistakes.
Yeah. You know, Carter Roughton this year has got a .291 average. Not hit a home run this year, but he's a good contact hitter. And right now, you know, one swing of the bat, it ties the ball game. But I don't even think if you're Mount Ida, I mean, you're not looking for that. You get the base hit, just keep knocking away at that deficit.
And you see they're going to stick with Humphreys. Now you've had some success if you're Mount Ida in scratching across some runs, and you guys stick with that attack.
So here's Roughton at the plate with runners at first and second. There's a called strike on the outside corner.
You see some deep breaths from Humphreys.
Yeah. Oh, 1, swung on and missed. Quickly takes the count to 0-2. .2's on the way, and it just misses on that outside corner, and they actually set up out there to see if they could get him to chase. Takes the count to 1-2. One, two, misses outside. It's 2-2.
Hey, to Humphreys' credit, he has had to battle in both his innings. Mount Ida's just missed that one big hit in this game so far.
2-2, swung on, popped up, right side into foul territory. And did he get it? No. He gave good chase that time. That's a lot of foul ground to have to cover, isn't it?
It is. Smith knew where the wall was, to his credit.
Yeah. Two-two's the count. Runners are at first and second. Swung and fouled back. Here's the 2-2. Struck him out. And Taylor gets out of the inning without any runs given up. 6-3 is our score. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Can you see her greatness? When you attend her games, when you cheer her on, or when you participate in any way, you support your community and make it better, and you will see her greatness. Join us as we pledge to increase the visibility of women's sports in our communities. It makes a difference when we all are involved. At Everett Buick GMC, we proudly support our local female athletes and encourage you to do the same. See her greatness.
This month in Passport on the PBS video app.
Many of the stories told about kings and queens have been spun. Who knows where facts and fibs may take us next?
This would have been your grandfather's experience, and it's really quite dramatic.
Hell in frozen water.
The war really mattered to Elizabeth. She is growing in confidence.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS video app.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
Let's go! A special thank you to the Conway Chamber of Commerce for helping us organize and set up the event and broadcast. The Conway Chamber of Commerce serving the Conway area business community since 1891. For more information, visit conwaychamber.org.
So Taylor's due up this half inning as they lead at 6-3, but looking over the bullpen, looks like they are setting up their closer, Preston Smith, to come in and try to get ready to close this thing out in the 7th inning, as he just went to the bullpen to start warming up. So as he's warming up, his team will be at the plate to try to tack on some more runs. But look at here, Mount Ida is going to send Caleb White back out there to try to close this thing out himself.
Listen, a lot of these runs are not on him. He's got 2 unearned runs in this game. And I think his defense behind him at times has tried to do a little bit of much, but
there's the play at third. Long throw, they got him. How about that? McCullough to Gilbert all the way across the diamond after he bobbled it.
Well, he has a rocket of an arm over there.
5-3 on the putout. Aiden Hosley goes down now that Peyton Smith comes to the plate.
Look at this. Loses it for just a second, tracks it down. Incredible throw all the way across the diamond. Preston Smith, by the way, who we showed you warming up in the bullpen, due up 4th in this inning.
Yeah. So Peyton Smith up now. Curveball misses inside.
SAU's getting quite the combination in Peyton and Preston.
Here's another one out to third. Big throw, big put out.
McCullough's been amazing over there this inning.
Well, he hadn't had a whole lot of action today. He over at third base. He's only had one ball hit to him all day. So he's like, I'm going to make up for it this half inning. So now you've got 2 outs in the 6th and Mason Lindsay at the plate, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Well, 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Look at Caleb White coming in here throwing strikes. Oh, 2's the count really quickly to Mason Lindsay.
Caleb's a senior. So this is, you see his line there. This is it. This is your last game.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2. Curveball hits the turf.
Well, if anybody needs an effective curveball.
That's a big one. Here's a 1-2. Swung on, lifted out to shallow center. It'll get into no man's land for a base hit.
So let's see what Taylor does here. We showed you Preston Smith warming up in the bullpen. Well, there he is.
You let him go hit. I mean,
he's a 500 hitter.
Yeah, he's a 500 hitter, and you're 3-hole. And it's not. I mean, he's loose. He's been playing in the game the entire day. Just trying to get that strike zone. Curveball misses outside. Now, what they could do is if he got on, essentially run a pitch runner out there and let him go back to bullpen and warm up some more.
Intentionally walked in his last at bat.
Curveball misses outside, and it's 2-0. He's not going to get it. I mean, they're not going to throw anything that he can hit. I mean, you're going to see a bunch of off-speed stuff.
Look through the stats for this weekend. There are a lot of 400-something hitters.
Yeah.
500.
Well, I mean, you're also playing. You've got guys playing in a state championship. You'd expect that you'd have. I mean, maybe not the whole lineup, but, a lot of especially your top-end guys, is Preston Smith walks, so now you've got runners at first and second.
On base for the 3rd time today.
It's a 3rd walk that he's had.
Which his on-base percentage coming into this one, 643.
Yeah, pretty impressive. So now you've got Waylon Woodle at the plate. He got a base hit back in the 3rd inning to right field. And he's going to line one down the left field side, but it'll go foul. I do like at UCA how they've got the purple foul territory, so you can definitively say where the foul territory is.
I agree. Let's make it as obvious as possible. Of course, we're stone's throw away from the signature purple and gray field.
100%. 0-1's the count to Waylon Woodle. I was reading an article that said, the UCA softball team was being considered for a regional. They said because NCAA rules that you can't host a regional if you've got a turf field, which I thought was mind-blowing. I was like, seems a little strange, as it counts 1-1 missed inside. You would think that'd be more natural for most teams, so it's less maintenance.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Here's the 1-1. It's lifted out to right field. That will get down for a base hit. That'll score a run for Taylor to add to their lead. Scores 2 runs, and it's a double for Waylon Woodle. Two RBI double. And Taylor has extended their lead here in the 6th.
Yeah, you saw that celebration there from the Tigers. Kind of the first sense we've gotten that maybe they can taste just a little bit of what is 3 outs away from them right now.
So now Jesse Humphreys is at the plate. Got a base hit back in the 2nd inning to left field. Walked in the 3rd and then grounded out to third base in the 4th. And that's going to hit him. Or no, it didn't miss him.
Such a good Taylor lineup up and down. I mean, it is so hard. You want to pitch around Preston Smith? Behind him, a bunch of 350-plus hitters.
Yeah. 2-0 pitch was in there, called a strike. Here's the 2-1 that misses low, and it's now 2-2.
So Preston and Peyton Smith both going to SAU, a mule rider baseball program that's had some success.
That missed inside. They throw down to third. No, he faked the throw, and so got a runner at third base now after a stolen base. As Woodall going over to third. As we talked about earlier, he leads the team in stolen bases this year. So Humphrey's got a 3-2 count on him. And that's swung on. Out to second, diving attempt, no good. It's a base hit, it scores another run. So now Austin Aycock is going to be at the plate. Taylor has really expanded their lead here in the 6th inning.
And it's really one of the first innings they've done so thanks to some great pieces of hitting. This game, the story of the game is they've been able to take advantage of walks, hit by pitches, timely hitting here and there, but this is the first time they've really gotten to Caleb White. 3 hits in the inning and a walk.
Runner at first base, 2 outs here in the inning. They got the 2 outs really quick, that being Mount Ida and Caleb White.
In 3rd inning, you batted around, you had 2 hits.
Yeah. Here's the 0-1. That's swung on, chopped down the third base side, but goes foul.
Thought McCullough was going to think about it for a second there, the way he's played it at third.
He's already made 1 big play this inning. Oh-2's on the way. Curveball swung on and fouled back.
Well, you think about the target that was on this Taylor team's back all season. Defending state champs, ranked #1 all season. Few teams really challenged them.
There's 0-2 out to short. And easy put out, and that'll get Mount Ida out of the inning. But not until Taylor comes up with 3 big runs here in the 6th. Got 3 base hits, and we head to the 7th, where Taylor leads at 9-3. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
During the past year, we've been traversing the natural state with our cinematic drone, from lakes and rivers, waterfalls, scenic byways, mountains, swamps, overlooks, and towering rock formations. This unique documentation of all 4 seasons from all 4 corners of the state with an aerial cinematic perspective will give you, the viewer, an Arkansas adventure like never before, exploring Arkansas from above.
Download the PBS video app or watch online.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Local broadcast of Arkansas PBS programming is made possible in part by Community Bakery. Scratch-made breads, pastries, cakes, treats, and locally roasted coffees served daily at 2 locations in Little Rock, 1200 Main and 270 Shackelford.
We never gonna stop.
Arkansas PBS has the perfect keepsake from the game. Download free photos at myarpbs.org/photos. And I tell you, RJ, it is not just Taylor fans that might want to remember this, but Mount Ida, to their credit, this is the farthest a Lions team has ever made it. This is a season to cherish, certainly for Mount Ida.
Well, they're going to have some heavy work here as they've got Caleb White leading things off here in the 7th. It's Caleb White, Kane McCullough, and Ramsey Gilbert. The 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Mount Ida here in the 7th. Pitch in there at the belt, called a strike. Two one is outside.
Caleb White has battled in this game. They put this on his back on the mound.
Yeah. And it's a walk to Caleb White. That's his 2nd walk of the day, and now Kane McCullough's at the plate.
Now batting third baseman Kane McCullough.
Don't forget, we talked about Preston Smith. He was in the bullpen working and warming up for Taylor. During that last Taylor at bat, they've stuck with Humphreys for right now. But they do have somebody warm for this to close this thing out, as that one's up high. One O's popped up, left side. And nobody can get to it, so it takes the count to 1-1.
Humphreys has faced 10 batters in the 2 innings he's pitched. He's had to navigate out of some jams, but he's done so.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. That was up high. He knows he shouldn't have swung at that one. Two's fouled off. McCullough's got 2 base hits today. He had one in the 1st and one in the 5th. One two's popped up. Backside of home plate.
Did you play with the high stirrup socks like Humphreys got?
No, I did in high school. We had purple socks, just straight purple. I think we had gray as well. But I have done this. I have done the stirrups before. I never was a big fan.
I never loved the feeling under your heel.
2-2's the count. And he strikes him out. First out here in the 7th.
Second strikeout of the day from Humphreys. Took something off that. Pulled the string a little bit. Good pitch.
So now Ramsey Gilbert comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk back in the 1st.
Big first out there too, RJ, when you know you're so close to a back-to-back championship.
Here's the 1-0. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, need 3 outs and this one's over with. Or 2 more, actually.
This would be Taylor's 7th state championship. All since 2004.
2-0 misses inside, and it's 3-0.
7 state titles, and what would that be? 19, well, 18 if you take out 2020.
Yeah, because we didn't play baseball in 2020, did we?
We did not.
Because it all ended at basketball.
Exactly.
3-1. That COVID year, you can't remember what you did exactly.
It is a big blur.
Here's a 3-1 that's chopped out to short. Get the one at second, back to first. He doesn't quite get that. So he'll be at, Ramsey Gilbert will be at first base. Caleb White's out at second, so there's 2 outs here in the inning. And Tyler Petty's at the plate. First pitch to Petty, swung on, and it gets in the hole between third and short. So a base hit for Tyler Petty. That's his second base hit of the day.
One of those that just finds the gap there between Hosley and Woodle.
So now you've got Lane Nolan at the plate. Nolan on the day is 0 for 3, flying to center field in the first, flying to right field in the fourth, and then grounded out to shortstop in the sixth.
Good job to lay off that. Nolan's 0 for 3 on the day.
But he's given the ball a ride every time he's been up. I mean, it's not like they've just been
a couple flyouts.
Yeah. Throw down to third, and he's safe at third. As sliding in there was Ramsey Gilbert. So runners are at first and third now, as Lane Nolan's got a 1-1 count on him. Ball's hit down the first base side. First baseman grabs it, touches the flag, and the game is over. Taylor is your state champion for 2023. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll give you all the final wrap-ups of this one as Taylor wins it 9-3. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball and Softball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Over 2,500 team members across 17 local electric distribution co-ops, powering homes, farms, and industries somewhere across Arkansas. We are the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas. Power and people.
Want to see even more Arkansas stories? Subscribe to Arkansas PBS on YouTube for original productions, extras from your favorite local programs, behind-the-scenes videos, and our exclusive coverage of high school sports. All available on demand and all Arkansas made. Don't miss out on more great Arkansas stories. Subscribe now.
Arkansas, what's in your attic? Find out what your heirlooms, antiques, and unique collectibles are worth. Join us for the filming of a brand new show, Arkansas Treasures. Your contribution of $120 admits you and a guest to bring 2 items to our team of professional appraisers for an evaluation at a special event in the Arkansas PBS studios. And if your item and story are selected for filming, you may end up on our show. Additionally, your contribution gets you a 1-year membership to Arkansas PBS, including our monthly member magazine and access to PBS Passport, where you can stream thousands of hours of incredible PBS content. This special event happens on August 5th and 6th in Conway. Tickets will go quickly, so guarantee your spot by calling now or visiting our website. Simply scan the QR code with your phone. Your treasure may be worth more than you know.
Let me take you for a ride on the baseline.
Now there are your champions for 2023, the Taylor Tigers. They'll be getting their state championship trophy here in a moment. Mount Ida just received their runner-up trophy that for finishing in second place. But once again, you talk about it. You know, Mount Ida last year got bounced in the semifinals. They make it to the championship this year. They got beat by Taylor in the semifinals last year. Now they made it to the championship, and just an impressive season that both teams had this year.
Yeah, you see the great celebration there. Taylor had such an awesome dog pile to run out when you are #1 all season as the defending state champs, and then back it up with back-to-back state championships, and to be able to celebrate and take that picture with the banner there. It's a very special season for Taylor. And you saw, I think, out of the corner of the frame as we went to break there, you saw Ramsey Gilbert, who was sort of keeled over. But this Mount Ida team has nothing to hang their heads over. They did something that no Mount Ida team has ever done in program history. Congratulations to both Taylor and Mount Ida.
Let's give you a quick wrap up real fast. Mount Ida, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. They left 10 on today. As for Taylor, they had 9 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they left 6 on today. So that's going to do it for the 1A championship. And see right there, there was only 1 error in the ball game. And Kyle, final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, 5 walks, 3 hit by pitches there for Taylor. And you just see they were able to take advantage of some very small mistakes from Mount Ida. They were able to capitalize on small. There was really only 1 inning where they strung together some hits, but they kept Mount Ida on their heels, and they were able to take advantage of some walks and hit by pitches and little mistakes. They're a really good hitting team, and they do the little things really, really well. This is a well-deserved back-to-back state champion, and it's just about every inning, by the way, as you see, they had Mount Ida on their heels.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one inning after another. The pressure was always being put on by Taylor. And really, I mean, Mount Ida did a good job putting pressure on early in this game. Yeah. And right here even, they got some runs there in the 5th inning, and just then you move to the 6th, and Taylor just opened things up in the 6th inning, and it was hit after hit. That's how they grew that lead to a 9-3 lead. And Taylor just the better team in this one, the better team all season long in Class 1A. And got it done. Hey, we've got more ball games coming up. Coming up next, we've got the 6A baseball game between Springdale Harbor and Bentonville. And then right there, that's a gorgeous shot of the UCA softball field. Softball action is going to happen tonight after that game right there, that 6A baseball game. So got a lot of action left here in Conway. But for Kyle Deckelbaum, I'm RJ Hawk. Your final on this one, it was 9-3 in favor of the Taylor Tigers. They are your Class 1A state champions. You've been watching the Centennial Bank State Baseball Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.